Good afternoon and welcome back to another episode of NOTR, Noofs Off the Record. I'm your host, Sean Day. Today we'll be joined by members of the Nipissing Lakers lacrosse team and their coach to talk about why lacrosse isn't a part of the CIS and not recognized as a varsity level sport, even though it is our country's national summer sport.
Team. So Luke, how much does it cost to play lacrosse per year?
Well, with the university team, there wasn't any fee due to the fact that it was just a club this year, and it was like more of an exhibition team. But the equipment will cost anywhere from $400 to $500 with helmet, gloves. The stick can cost up to $200. Jerseys that we got this year were $100, and away tournaments as well costed about $300 altogether.
At Nipissing right now, we didn't have to pay anything but for our jerseys, which was $100, and all of our games practices were free, which was really cool.
It was actually really inexpensive because we only traveled a couple times, so I think it was only a couple $100, maybe $200 or $300 total, all in with the jersey and shorts, and then that's with the equipment I had to buy for that, so cleats, and I already had everything else, so not counting that.
The players, at least at this point, will be paying, and realistically they'll be paying to play on the team for the foreseeable future. We are currently trying to get sponsors locally or anybody who's really interested. Purely volunteer. I started the program this year, so yeah, I get nothing.
Hard to put a price on that because there's traveling fees, equipment, wherever you play that year, you play for two teams. So I don't know, it would be a lot though.
As previously stated by Luke, the average cost of lacrosse equipment is approximately between $200 to $400. Compared to hockey or other national sports, which players on average spend double and sometimes triple the amount of lacrosse equipment just to play hockey.
For those of you that want to know what we're all about.
This year we put in around 3 hours a week during the season, and right now we're doing 5 hours a week off season, which is pretty good.
Because of the soccer program and the phys ed program, we actually have to go to the other end of town to practice because there is no field time.
Well, with the university squad, we traveled all the way down to Laurier, and we also traveled up to Laurentian.
Right now we have to drive out there ourselves, but in our own cars, pay for the whole trip ourselves. But in the next couple of years we should be allowed to use Nipissing's bus.
For sure. It's kind of a joke that we have all these other sports that are, OUA, and this has to have its own Canadian Varsity Field Lacrosse Association. It should be a part of the whole picture.
Not necessarily. Lacrosse is a very regional sport, so the reality is some universities just aren't going to have the players or the interest to run it, so saying that it has to be everywhere. However, I think you should have the option to be at that, specifically the fact that we're a club in a province that has, I think, 12 universities with a team.
I think it should be varsity in a lot of universities, but field lacrosse isn't very well known in Canada. I think if there was box lacrosse, it could be in more universities as of right now.
Well, it's not too much of a big deal, but due to the fact that there is a Canadian University Field Lacrosse Association, but it would be nice if it was in the CIS, which I think in later years it will be once all the universities acquire it as a sport.
Let's take a look at what universities have lacrosse clubs that could go varsity with your support. Bishops, Brock, Carleton, Concordia, Guelph, Laurentian, Laurier, McGill, McMaster, Queens, U of T, Western, and most recently, Nipissing University.
Yeah. For those.
Lacrosse is our official summer sport by an act of Parliament. It should receive the same support in the country as our official winter sport hockey. We have the interest, we have the players, we have the coach. Noobs, we need your support for Varsity Lacrosse. This is Sean Day signing off from NOTR.
You ready? Let's go! Yeah! For those of you that wanna know what we're all about, it's like this, yo. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15%